clown. This is clown. She's having me try to respond to her alters. She wants me to what? Like address all three of her? No. I'll talk to the person and that's it. Alters are you. You are you. Are you. Are you. Are you. It is the most severe, extreme, and mysterious, and elusive of all the mental illnesses within the realms of trauma and dissociation. Pierre Genet, 1921. Fucking miracle if I'm one day able to recover from a trauma. How dare you? How dare you undermine my hard work? How dare you insinuate that my traumas are things that can just be overcome by falling asleep one day and waking up the next day and it's gone. I fall asleep, next day the trauma is gone. That's a miracle. How dare you? You're disgusting. First, what's been going on is the other day I received a content strike. Not a copyright claim, not a copyright takedown, not a content claim, but a strike. Very distinct, unique, individual form of action was taken upon my channel. Now, I have explained at length a number of times in the past what copyright strikes are and how they differ from the other forms of claim that can be inflicted upon a channel. And so for the sake of brevity, I'm not going to go over all of that again. But in short, copyright claims are easy to do, quick to do, legally risk-free to do, and can remove content from somebody else's channel in a finger snap. Copyright strikes are all the above. You get 3 of them. Every single thing on your channel is permanently deleted unless you can. You've got a few months to fight your case at that point, but you've got a good chance of everything being taken from you. We all know that I've had to deal with that situation before, only 2 years ago, when Dissociated inflicted, at the time, technically 4 strikes on my... You remember that? She did actually do 3. She did 4. But 4 strikes on me. My God. What a psychopath. And it was scary. It was really scary. I haven't had to deal with anything like that since. I won all of the strikes back then. I knew that my content was fair use, well within the content guidelines. Like, I knew she didn't have a single ground to stand upon. But I'd also be lying if I said it wasn't scary. It sucked. It's a really situation to be put in. And it's nice saying this not in a YouTube video, but actually to you guys here in stream. Because I know you guys know how important this is. Because you're here all the time. I know you know how important this community is. I know you know how important everything that I've spent time actually putting effort into and building here. Like, you get it. Most of my YouTube audience, though, that comment and interact, though, seem to get it as well, which is really cool. But God, I know you guys get this, right? So I spent like more than 3 years now pouring... I sound fringe and lame and gay saying this stuff. But I've spent my life, like, the last 3 years pouring my heart and soul out into it, and YouTube and streaming 4 years now on YouTube, maybe 5 years. And yeah, like, I put a lot of work into this, guys. I do. And that's why I appreciate when you guys, I appreciate you guys. I do. And so I've been in a interesting situation for the last week or so now, over a week. It's uploading that McLean video and having a content strike placed upon my channel, because that's 2 that I've got at the moment. Currently have 2 strikes on my channel. Puts me in a very precarious, stressful position. But it made me annoyed. It made me annoyed It didn't make me angry. First strike was placed on my channel by my fastest growing video all year. My fastest growing video all year. And it was fair use, and I didn't even get a chance to dispute it. And I am not going through the process of trying to fight this one back because I know I'll lose it. Because of how biased the system is in favor of the person that struck me. Being Prince Harry's publisher for my edit of Jordan Peterson and Prince Harry. Strike number 2 came the other day, and I posted upon my YouTube about it, in case any of you missed it. So I posted the other day. All my content suddenly disappears. It's because of fraudulent legal copyright strikes being placed upon my channel by certain individuals that feel called out by content that has nothing to do with them. This is disgusting, completely gross manipulation of the legal systems in place to protect content creators and their IP, and sadly not the first time that members of this community have sunk to lows such as this. Sickening and hypocritical behaviour as usual. Now, I didn't notice. This was 10 days ago. I love that we get the timeline through this as well. I've just got all the... I made sure I just got all these screenshots now. So this is the timeline. Okay? The dates that it shows you are relevant to today. So today is currently the 13th of April. So 10 days ago, on the 3rd of April, 5 days ago, on the 8th of April. On the 8th of April, 5 days later, I received this message. On a comment, not a message, I received this comment on a post I had made on Instagram from Gianu System, the person who had put the strike on me. Hey, I know you don't know me and don't know my story. I can tell you that I've had... You're going to see why this pisses me off very rapidly, loungers. Hey, I know you don't know me and don't know my story. And I'm gonna read this good faith. I don't want to read this in a soy voice or anything. Let me read this good faith. Because I don't need to read this in a mocking tone of voice to show how categorically bad faith, ill-intentioned, vain, narcissistic, arrogant, stupid this person's responses to me are. They're a bitter, nasty person who is weaponizing their trauma as much as they can in order to bully people on the internet into doing whatever they want. And I'm not just saying this or claiming this. I will be providing the evidence. Gianu, this is my content. If you watch this video when it's up on YouTube and you try to claim or strike this stuff, I will see you in court. Remove the strikes from my channel. Feel free to give me a claim if you want, but remove the strike from my channel today. When you see this video, remove the strike from my channel. I will be explaining to you over the course of this video why you should do that, why that is in your best interests, as I tried to already, but you were too arrogant, foolish, naive, stupid, or malicious to understand. Hey, I know you don't know me and don't know my story. I can tell you that I've had multiple assessments done by multiple therapists and that my friends and family can attest to that. I don't care. But you don't know them either. I can tell you my most thorough assessment result is on my YouTube channel, for whatever that's worth. Hey guys, you know I've explained to you like my trauma, my issues, PTSD, things like bipolar. Have I ever done that by going, here's my diagnosis, look at my diagnosis, look at my scores, guys, look at my diagnosis. Do you know why I've never had to do that? Why nobody's ever fake claimed me? Wonder if there's a reason for that. Also, she displayed scores that showed her to be a faker. She showed scores of a test that aren't a diagnostic test. It's just test scores that she's showing. And the test scores that she shows that she has incredibly high scores in, attention seeking. She scores full marks in DID traits, full marks. She gets full marks. Every possible question that could give you a point saying this person might have DID, she scores in. I have DID as 100 out of 100. And attention seeking scores a 100 out of 100. And she thinks that score sheet proves that she has DID. Zero emotional distress. Yeah, that's right. She has zero emotional distress. But 100 out of 100 symptoms out of DID. It's not like actually 100. I think it's like 7 out of 7 or something, the scoring. But she's literally full marks for DID, full marks for attention seeking, 0 marks for emotional distress. Trauma disorder. And so pathetic and weak that people talking about her online causes her to have like weeks-long meltdowns. So, I decided years ago to be open online about my mental illness. After much thought and talking with my hubs, knowing that such openness could be helpful to other people struggling, but could bring harm to us. Imagine my surprise when a week ago... Imagine my surprise when a week ago a hospital used my videos, one of which we said on the pinned info is a dramatization of what it's like when we don't know who's fronting and not actually what we do. Okay, so a dramatization. To show what malingering looks like. So a hospital used my video to show what malingering looks like. A video that is a dramatization of what it looks like when we don't know who's fronting. So that feels apt, right? That feels... I didn't know that before. Dr. Robinson picked a video... Right, think about this, guys. Maybe Dr. Robinson picked that video thinking, here is somebody with DID making a video exaggerating it to show what fake DID looks like. Maybe he was like, oh, perfect, somebody with DID making content that shows what fake DID looks like. Oh, I'll use that because they won't mind, because that's what they did themselves. They made a dramatization, and I'm talking about people making dramatizations. How useful. I am purposefully misunderstanding, I know, Twilight. But that's how I read it, okay? I wrote whoever I thought might listen to tell them I've been diagnosed by multiple individuals. I wrote whoever I thought might listen to tell them I've been diagnosed. Like, why? Why did you do that? Also, why have you been diagnosed by multiple individuals? I've only ever had one person diagnose me with ADHD. One person diagnosed me with bipolar. I've only had one person diagnose me with PT. Why do you have to have multiple people diagnose you? That seems like doctor shopping. You know what I mean? Been diagnosed by multiple individuals and been in therapy for years. Those facts didn't seem to matter. I've been literally sick, can't eat, can't sleep, can't be present with my family. Why? Why is the doctor talking about you, causing you to, like, why is somebody talking about you online causing all these effects? That's a lot of emotional distress. You should get off the internet. You're a content creator online, right? And then people talk about your content, and it causes you to be unable to sleep, unable to stop switching, unable to be present with your family. Get off the internet. I say all this to let you know I'm not trying to start a war with my copyright claim. It's not a copyright claim, it's a copyright strike. I wish it was a copyright claim. If it was a copyright claim, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. I'm trying to protect myself and my family. Even just writing this to you, I'm literally shaking. I'm not strong. I'm not brave. Boo-hoo, pity me, feel sorry for me. I'm a poor little pathetic traumatized person who's just being so brave and strong, even talking to you, the big bad scary granddad's lounge. Sorry, I'm not brave. I'm afraid and just doing whatever I can think of to keep harm from me and my family. I'm already mentally ill. True. I already knew what it's like for your home to be the place where you were afraid. If you're still afraid in your current home, because of what people are saying about you online, you need to get off the internet. Growing up, the abuse came from within those four walls. Hey guys, I once said something that there's no such thing as trauma dumping. Last 2 weeks has made me rethink that. The messages I have received on my recent DID videos, not from people professing DID or support who have been sharing really heartbreaking and heartfelt messages that upset me, that doesn't come across as trauma dumping. The people that have been dumping horrific stories of trauma midway through arguments, those people that were arguing that back and forth endlessly with like Clary and stuff, that kept trauma dumping. They kept trauma dumping. This is trauma dumping. You're writing me out of nowhere because you're freaking out because you did a strike on my channel. You're freaking out because you did a strike on my channel, right? And now you decide to dump a load of trauma on me about how you grew up abused. Go f yourself. Get off the fucking internet. If you're scared in your own house, if you feel like your walls are abusing you again, get off the internet. Grow up. Get off the internet. You're meant to be a mother. Set a good example for your children. What the fuck is wrong with you? You say you're a mother, and you say you're acting like this because of people online. How pathetic. Grow up. Get off the internet. Growing up, the abuse came from within those four walls, and all this makes me afraid again, makes me feel unsafe for myself, but also for my family. If you making content online is making you feel unsafe for your children and your family, you are the problem. You're a bad mother. You're just a bad mum. You're actually a bad mum. Wow, you just admitted to being a bad mum. That's all. Wow. You're a parent. Holy You think your entitlement to make content online comes first and foremost over your children's safety. That's what you've just said. You're gross. You'd rather make content than put your children's safety first. That's disgusting. Actually disgusting. Content brain parents are the lowest of the low. I have many videos on my old channel titled r/I'm a total piece of poop news that cover the exploits of content brained parents abusing their children because they care more about their content. Exactly, Micro. How can they're getting posted constantly on fake disorder cringe, all the rest of it. But now that a doctor has said it, it's true. Nah, like, get off the internet. This is bad for your kids, clearly. It's not the internet that's doing this to them. You're the one. You're the one on the internet switching for an entire week. You know, you've spent an entire week unable to ground, sleep, eat. So unable to be a mother because you're too obsessed with your online content, which you also admit to me you don't make money from. This isn't a business. You don't have a career doing this. You don't make any money from what you do. How do I know? Oh, loungers. We just did the small part. I replied to her on Instagram. I don't have a screenshot of my reply, annoyingly. It was a very short reply. I can just find it. Shit, I should have included it in the docket. I wanted it in the docket, and I don't have it in the docket. Oh no, she deleted her comment is why. I did try to find it. I had to go through messages with you. I had to go through old messages to try and find the screenshot just then. That's right, because she's deleted her comment on Instagram. She's deleted her original comment. I replied to her saying, I understand. I replied saying, I understand that, like, I feel that, like, Instagram comments might not be the best place for this. If you would like to talk to me, write out your thoughts properly, you can email me at grandadslounge.gmail.com. Just very polite, very formal, very simple. And she emailed back. Wait, who's doing meet and greets and a podcast appearance? Gianu. Gianu's doing a meet and greet and a podcast. Awesome. I'm glad she's doing a podcast. Meet and greet. How's she doing a meet and greet? She says she's not even big enough to be making money off what she's doing. How's she doing a meet and greet? I couldn't even do a meet and greet. If I tried to do a meet and greet, 2 of you would show up. 3 at most. I'm scared for my safety. For this reason, I want people to come meet me in real life in a specified location. I'm scared for my safety. Let's do a meet and greet. I'm so scared and melting down. I can't sleep, eat, and I'm switching all day, every day. I've not been present for days. Meet and greet. Anyway. Hi. Email is much better. Medium. Not sure how to start this off, but I hope this leads to a better understanding on both sides. And if you celebrate, Happy Easter. No, I don't celebrate. Fuck off, Jenna. No. Don't try to be friendly. Don't try to, I'd given her a chance to email me and talk to me properly, and this is what she gives me. So I reply. Hi there, and cool. I figured if you wanted to try and explain it to me, it'd be easier here or verbally. Quick thought before you read the rest. You said one of the vids he chose was of you purposefully doing an exaggerated performance of DID to sort of mock those who are faking, right? Maybe that's exactly why he chose yours, because he couldn't. Because he thought it wouldn't offend you because you were on the same page as him already. Isn't it possible? I don't know. That's how I interpreted it. Isn't that? You guys keep saying that's not what the video was, but that's how I interpreted it. That's how I interpreted what she said. Isn't it possible that the doctor did the same? That's the thought I'm positing. It was just to create a little layer of friendly buttered bread. Now, honestly, I don't want to see your diagnosis. I don't care about that, and you shouldn't care what anyone online thinks about you. Be they random. I can't help but therapize people and give them help-either lounges, you know me. Be they random YouTuber or a doctor at world-leading trauma clinic. If you're on a healthy path to recovery and living a good life, then that's all that surely matters. But I do understand your reaction to it as well. You're a human after all. I can't even remember what I said about you during the live stream, and of someone else that I'm paying to edit my YouTube content now. But if I insulted you or ridiculed you in any way, then let me apologize here. I'm sorry about that. I would like you to understand that my anger and frustration comes from a deeply personal place that I will never be comfortable sharing online or with anyone outside of my closest friends. But to assume I have no stakes in the online discourse around DID would be categorically wrong. So again, I'm sorry for whatever cruel words I may have directed towards you. However, to be blunt, it's hard for me to be too friendly right now. Until you remove that strike, my channel is in a state of limbo due to already receiving a malicious strike just weeks prior. I have built an incredible community on Twitch, but it relies heavily on my YouTube channel, and whilst 4,500 subscribers may not seem a lot, it's what I have. It's what I've built, and my main form of outreach. Simply put, that strike is a threat to me and those now upon my payroll. If you know any of my history with Dissociated, then you'll note that she attempted to destroy my channel before by placing 3 strikes on my channel, which took months for me to get removed. Which were removed, because legally speaking, I am 100% in the right. As it stands, in 3 months' time, the video will be restored to my channel unless you decide to sue me. And let's be real, neither of us need that, right? Where you don't actually own the copyright, where the clips were used in a transformative manner, and where doctors are actually legally protected from civil suits involving the use of others' content in seminars or writings, your case would be dismissed and thrown out immediately and would in fact then open you up to me countersuing you for misuse of copyright legislation. Also, if this continues, I have what you wrote on Instagram to me as evidence that it was a fraudulent copyright strike. The reasons you detailed are not grounds for using the copyright system. So, as this stands, this could progress one of 3 routes. The worst one, we find ourselves embroiled in an ugly and unnecessary legal battle like Sergio and Dissociated. Middle route, I get no ad revenue and my channel is suppressed for 3 months, but ultimately the strike is lifted, content restored, and thus, in 3 months' time, you go through all of the harassment and emotional turmoil again as it's picked up again by the community at large. I don't personally want that happening to you. I did a typo. Oh no, my typo is a Freudian slip. I said I don't personally want that happening to you. Whoopsie. No, I don't want that happening to you. I fucking hate harassment, and if you ever receive any, feel free to share with me the names, and if any of them are from my community, they will be banned immediately. I do not endorse that behaviour at all. And I'm not just saying that in the email. I know I've said this before, loungers, and I know you've heard me say this before, but I do not endorse that form of harassment. And if I found out about any of you harassing her, I would ban you. That would be it. You guys are awesome. You guys literally pay me money, and I would ban you that fast. Best route. Retract the strike now. With it having been watched and discussed for a few weeks now, and with my edited, longer version up as well, it's already been seen. You may have noticed I removed you from that version entirely. As stated before, any harassment you receive, inform me of usernames, just screenshot and dump them entirely in an email if you want. Any from my own community will be dealt with incredibly harshly, named, shamed, and permabanned. Should you choose the best route, then I would be happy to talk to you properly. We could do a video call. I think if you did that and actually had a chance to speak with me and the members of my community, you would be incredibly surprised. Look at this olive branch, loungers. There you go. Let me have my chat there for a sec. So you can just... At the end of the day, if you do have DID, then a lot of your life has sucked, and I don't want to add to that. Please try to understand that maybe parts of my life have also sucked. Just watch my latest video if you want to understand who I am. My fight isn't with you, or anyone that may or may not have DID. It's not with anyone. I just want the science and knowledge to progress. Regards, Peter. You know, it's like I start off friendly, I put all the brutal stuff in the middle, and then from the brutal stuff, I escalate it into a warmer and warmer olive branch, outreach of friendship, bridge building. I thought with me being that lovely, like, how could that go wrong? How could that go wrong? I literally said to people that I showed this to before that I thought in 24 hours, I was like, look at this email. Incredible email. I was like, there's no way they won't follow the third route. I was like, they have to follow the third route. With those three routes presented to you, who wouldn't follow the third route? It's obvious that you picked the third route. It's obvious that you picked the third route. You know? Obvious. I was like, in 24 hours, that strike is lifted. She'll see reason. She seems like a adult. You know, she's got kids. You know, like 40-year-old women in this generation, they're mostly like reasonable and normal. They're not fucking, even if they're like LARPing a bit online, they're not going to be psycho. Right? She's a mum. She's got kids. She's got to have better stuff to do. Right? There are, but I was just like hoping that, like, I was just being ageist. I was just thinking that this generation would be bad. I don't know. I was just naive. I was naive. I wrote a pretty big email. Right, like, just for my own like head's sake here, because like that my email is pretty easy to understand, right? I'm a genius. I'm a visionary. My writing, like, I'm probably one of like the top 3 greatest writers of all time, like just behind Kanye and Leonardo da Vinci. You know, I think Leonardo da Vinci and Kanye were better writers than me, better artists and creators and visionaries than me. But I'm probably like number 3. You know, and Tesla and Elon, they're like 4 and 5 in it. Shakespeare's like number 6 now compared to me, I think. Yeah, right? No, but seriously, like, I think it conveyed my feelings, it conveyed my tone. It was pretty, yeah, cool. Intimidating, fair, cool. When I just want to read this without the tone of voice of you reading it out, it came across harsher. Oh, wow. I thought me reading it out loud, it was going to come across harsher. Yeah. Pangray. Peggy. Not Pangray. Peggy. So many P's. Peggy, you're so right. I didn't understand. I didn't understand. So I wrote my based as hell email, epic, amazing, perfect balance of bridge building, empathetic, understanding, but also not f***ing around, no nonsense, mildly intimidating. Just the perfect email, basically. You know, the best email any of you have ever written. I've had some people. Many people say the best email ever that's ever written. Just the best ever of its kind. Many people say, God, I love that Trump's back, by the way. Because I'm just going to start being more and more like him again. Now that we're getting him more on TV, I get to refine my Trump act again. There. She replies, I've only skim read this. I'm going to be honest. Here's the other thing, loungers. I haven't replied to this yet. I've only skim read this. I have read it, but I've skim read it. Let's go. Hey, Peter. On your quick thought, our performance wasn't mocking fakers, but ourselves. We were just being goofy. On your quick thought, our performance wasn't mocking fakers, but ourselves. Full stop. My response to that is, yeah, that's what I said. Your performance is mocking fakers. Shots fucking fired, fam. Shooting herself here. We were just being goofy and spoofing off of when we don't know who's fronting. The video information said as much, but the doctor apparently didn't read that before taking it as our actual presentation. Or maybe he knew that, oh my God, she missed the point I was making. See, you guys think I missed her point. No, I was positing that the doctor read it and interpreted it the way I interpreted it. She was unable to understand the basis, the thesis of what I posited there. Literally, I'm like, maybe the doctor thought this, and she's like, no, the information in the video said as much. There's no way the doctor misinterpreted it and thought it was that. But maybe the doctor... Do you see how circular... I appreciate your apology, and I understand being angry about a cause that affects you. I'm there myself, clearly. 4.5k is about what I have on YouTube, and it's taken years to build. I understand what goes into building a community like that. I'm going to be honest, I'm not techie. The only thing I knew of my copyright claims... They're not claims, they are strikes. They are copyright strikes. Is that the video came down. I just explained to you, I really hate this, guys. Sometimes all of you are guilty of this. Everyone in chat is guilty of this. And I'm guilty of doing this too, but you're all more guilty of this than I am right now because I'm annoyed. Which is, I'll explain something, and you'll go, yeah, but I didn't know that. I thought it was this. Cool. You told me that already. I've just told you it's different. Let's operate on the new knowledge. Everyone does this. I'm actually, this sounds so and all of you are going to think this is individualized towards you, I feel, and it's really not. Seriously. Everyone does this. It's not even a bad habit. It's just human conversation. It's actually just human conversation. Don't do it to me when I'm angry. I'm not in the mood. You know, like, and it's not also for you guys to mind read when I'm able to deal with things like that. But point being, it's something that I'm aware of. What I'm saying is I'm aware that when people tell me, I didn't know that after I explain the thing to them, it pisses me off. But that's just because I'm autistic. I don't need the unnecessary conversation as much as I love to unnecessarily elaborate on the point that I'm making whenever I talk. I was not aware of strikes or suppression of channel or revenue. Why not? It informs you of all of that stuff as you do it. Someone told me the video is back up, but that since it used my content without consent, this isn't where the word consent should be used. Permission is the word. It doesn't have anything to do with consent at all. Consent is not relevant here. I used your content without your permission, and I don't need your permission, you dumbass. You're not consenting to it. You don't have to consent to it. Doesn't matter. And you don't have to give me your permission either, is the funniest part either. Doesn't matter. I'm taking it. I am metaphorically, literally raping you of your content, as Mr. Girl would say. I was not aware of strikes or suppression of channel. It's like, don't tell me that you're not aware of it. Don't tell me that you're not aware of this stuff. I've just told you, so you're aware of it now, you dumb. Someone told me the video was back up. This is use my content without consent. I could report it. This is still my understanding of the copyright violation. Well, you're too stupid to be able to read words on a page in front of you when you're going through a legal process. So maybe you shouldn't do it. Maybe you need a guardian. Maybe you should have somebody like, a conservatorship looking after you, because you don't know what you're doing when you're going through a legal process. You don't actually know what the words mean in front of you. I keep saying copyright strike, not claim. I don't give a shit if you gave me a copyright claim. It's a copyright strike. That is still my understanding of the copyright violation, that my content was used without my consent. Yeah, it was. Doesn't matter. There was a box I checked on the report that to my understanding, where your understanding is flawed. And once again, I'm not techie. Cool, I am. Your understanding is flawed. You should have listened to me. Told YouTube to take the video down anytime anyone re-uploaded it, even McLean. They checked the box that told YouTube, take the video down the moment any video matches the metadata and the video data found within. That's called using the copyright system to steal somebody else's work. Somebody else has ownership and authorship over. When you publish things on TikTok, there are a number of boxes you can select. You do not have a private TikTok account, then everything you upload to TikTok is uploaded under what is called a Creative Commons license. Everything. Unless your account is private, or unless those videos are still drafts, then everything you upload to TikTok is under the Creative Commons license, meaning yes, you still own it. It is still your IP, it is still your content, but you do not own any form of copyright over it. You cannot copyright it. It is not yours to be able to copyright in that manner, unless somebody is directly re-uploading it identically as it was on your own channel, and that re-upload is significantly affecting your own viewership or revenue, or it is perceived to be you, unless it is a form of identity theft, unless it is a form of fraud. Content uploaded under a Creative Commons license is free to be used by whoever wants to use it without consent and without asking permission. If you don't like that, get the f*** off the internet, grow the f*** up, stop living in your fairy tale world, and deal with me like an adult. You're acting like a child. This is how you're going to behave. Then get off the internet. Take the strike off my channel, and we're done. Keep this up. As I said before, I will see you in court. I will win, exactly as I did with Dissociate did. You will lose. You will regret this. I understand now that this hobbles your account, but if I remove it, it will be seen as frivolous. And that is not at all how I meant. I have written it to... I understand now that this hobbles your account, but if I remove it, it will be seen as frivolous. And that's not at all how I meant it. Okay, so you didn't mean it as frivolous, but it is frivolous. Just because you didn't mean something to be frivolous, that's not what determines whether it is or isn't frivolous. Holy she's trying to use legal language. I hate it when dumb try to use legal language. I've written to everyone I can think of. What a frivolous waste of time. Because yes, I'm old school enough that I used letters and ink. What an incredibly frivolous waste of time. In MA about this incident, it needs to be taken seriously. If the only reason they take it seriously is because of a copyright violation, that would still be worth it. Why would the hospital take it seriously because of a copyright violation on a random poet's channel? What little like fantasy world does she live in? Leave the Mind Palace. Stop playing The Sims. Let me talk to like the adult altar. Can I have like the chief walk out of the Sims Mind Palace house? I need an adult to communicate with right now, not somebody who is playing a video game or living in one. I need somebody dealing with me in the real world. But Not going to get that, am I? If the only reason they take it seriously is because of a copyright violation, that would still be worth it. In our past, they do something. Yes. Yes. They. Who? She's speaking to an Ashkenazi Jew right now. Normally when I see they in quotation marks, people are talking about Jews. Is she talking about Jews? She's not talking about Jews, is she? She's talking about the medical establishment, isn't she? I always see it talking about Jews. They do something, and we think, why say anything? It won't do any good. It'll only make things worse if we fight back. Wow. Boris Johnson. Big up, Boris. Why say anything? It won't do any good. It'll only make things worse if we fight back. Then later, we wished we did something. Anything. At least screamed, no, or help. Even if it didn't do any good. So we're making noise, trying to point out that we're being hurt. Even if it doesn't do any good. And God, we're afraid. We're so afraid. But at least we won't look back and say, why didn't we do something? I believe that you don't want to add to the suffering that I've gone through, and I don't want to add to yours either. I truly don't. And my fight isn't with you either. Okay, so she's repeating my words back to me. That's not smart. That's not a smart woman. It's not going to win me over. I truly don't. And my fight isn't with you either. My stand is against what Dr. Robinson did. Ah, the doctor that I referred to as the world-leading specialist at the world's leading trauma center. He said in his video that accusing people with genuine DID of faking causes harm, harassment, bullying, and mental distress. Cool. And he didn't do that in his video. Then he did the very thing he said was harmful. She didn't watch the video. Instead of striking the video, she should have watched the video. Instead of just getting triggered, she should have watched it and listened to what he said, because he didn't say that. He specifically, explicitly said the opposite of that. I don't know if you've had a doctor invalidate what's wrong with you, but this is not a first for me. Doctors practicing badly cause harm. I learned that one the hard way. And this time, I won't let this pass without saying something. I also want science and knowledge to progress, but that won't happen with doctors practicing poorly. That behaviour will cause setbacks to the mental health community. I haven't followed your content despite being a part of the DID community online. Yeah, I don't believe you. I just genuinely don't believe her. That's all. I've heard about some of the stuff with Associated. Associated recommended you. I swear you were working with this. You were going to do stuff with Associated. I don't know what happened to that. Was that a different content creator? It just reminds me of you. Maybe. No, that was somebody younger, wasn't it? But anyway, I've heard some of the stuff with Associated. I've heard about some of the stuff with Associated. But my mental health is precarious enough with my own issues. So why are you making content about your mental health online if your mental health is precarious enough due to your own issues? That sounds really dangerous considering you're a mum. You're a mum, you have children, and your mental health is precarious enough thanks to your own issues, yet you want to keep making content online and engaging in potentially lengthy legal battles with a random bloke in England and a hospital in America. I think you do have precarious mental health issues, but I don't think those mental health issues are what you think they are. Last thing I want is to get triggered by something not related online and end up spending an entire therapy session processing that instead of doing trauma work. Therapy is too expensive. Stop trauma dumping on me. Therapy is too expensive. Yeah, I know. And I'll check out your latest video. Having not done that yet, I will assume that what we both want is for people to be able to heal and pursue a good life. And I wish that for you, whether or not we can come to an accord about this video. Wait a minute, also. I don't believe her there either. I think she watched my video before replying, but included that, but I'm not sure. Jenna. Signs off Jenna of the Gianu system. P.S. How do you get triggered by something unrelated to your triggers or traumas? People just get triggered by everything. She doesn't. I'm reminded of the time my husband told me I wasn't allowed to watch the news anymore. Why wasn't the husband telling her to get off the internet and focus on herself? Oh, because it's a source of income. I wonder about that. It has to be. It has to be. So she's acting like she's poor. She's acting like she's amazed that I'm able to pay somebody. Again, I'm not exactly paying somebody much. I've offered Mooney a 50-50 split and like $40 a week for like a lot of work. I'm a slave driver. Though, side note, you make enough money to pay people? Okay, that's impressive. I didn't even make enough to have to report on taxes. What did I? Update. Post watching your last vid, you definitely know what it's like to get unexpectedly triggered by something online and then be like, ... You should watch my video where I talk about things that happened. There is a video on my channel where I get very personal about things that happened to me when I was younger. It gave me PTSD that took me many years to understand, accept, and all the rest of it. And in the video, I talk about how I was triggered by seeing a best friend come online on a video game that we used to play together. I was triggered by seeing one of my old best friends coming online. And I haven't seen that best friend since a Christmas party several years ago, where he and some of my these people I can't see them as friends anymore, but this other person is a friend. He didn't engage with it, but we've never talked about it. Anyway, they memed, they made a joke, they took the piss, they laughed about how they used to do things to me. But just seeing his name pop up sent me into a 3-hour spiral where all I could think about was how he used to sit there and laugh whilst other so-called friends at the time sexually assault or rape me. I was not triggered by a random thing online. Update. Post watching your last video, you definitely know what it's like to get unexpectedly triggered by something online and then be like, not how I wanted to spend this time. I'm impressed you were able to get out of the spiral in 3 hours. Pre-therapy, it could take me weeks to pull out of one. No, I was in a flashback. Pre-therapy, it could take me weeks to pull out of one. Also, I will not minimize what you shared by sharing back. You've already been trauma dumping on me. But I very much related to a lot of it. Already, we have more in common than I would wish on anyone. Good luck on your degree. May you become a force of healing in the world. Now I'm going to read this next bit in a silly voice, and you'll understand why as I read it. It's us later making addendums. Sorry, wrong voice. It's us later making addendums, and Jenna's going to leave them in because we all get a voice. I just want to put one thing in perspective from our point of view. You said it didn't matter what a doctor says online about us. This is why it does. You were super vulnerable on your stream. Now, say you've done that for years. I don't f***ing know. Maybe you have. Could have found out. Apparently you watched a 1.5 hour long video on my channel. You know about the dissociative stuff and you watched a 1.5 hour long video on my channel. And then you're going to write something like that. Did you not think to just check quickly and chronicled your healing as you went? Maybe one day you heal enough to wear shirts that would have set you off. Huh? You celebrate by... is she talking about the nipple? She's talking about the nipple thing. Maybe one day I heal enough to be able to... I wear shirts all the time that are uncut. There's lots of things I can't handle being on my nipple, but I still just deal with it once it's on. Maybe one day you heal enough to wear shirts that would have set you off. You celebrate by buying yourself a cake. The celebration would be wearing the gay lacy mesh, sailor boy tank top in bright luminescent green, the inner twink with pierced nipples, and me had always wanted to wear. That would be the celebration, surely. I celebrate by buying myself a cake, and I should. You should. It's a miracle. No, it's not. I'm not Christian. Happy Easter. Good luck on your healing. I pray for you. It's a miracle. Bruh, I'm an atheist that's working with the Satanic Temple. This is offensive to me. It's not a miracle. If I am able to wear shirts that used to trigger me, it's entirely thanks to the hard work and effort that I've put in. Don't frame it like it's a miracle. That's called work. Healing isn't a magical miracle process. It's work. It's hard work, mate. Maybe for you it's a miracle in your fantasy fairy world. Not for me. Miracles, the whole point of miracles is they're not hard. Jesus would perform miracles. Was it hard? Was it hard when Jesus turned water into wine? Did it look like he was stressing and working hard? Or was it instant? A miracle implies something instant, magical has happened. It's not a fucking miracle if I'm one day able to recover from a trauma. How dare you? How dare you undermine my hard work? How dare you insinuate that my traumas are things that can just be overcome by falling asleep one day and waking up the next day and it's gone? I fall asleep, next day the trauma is gone. That's a miracle. How dare you? You're disgusting. Maybe you heal enough that you make jokes about how hard dealing with PTSD is. Our veteran bestie does that all the time, okay? It's dark, but no one tells her how to deal with her shit. Then a doctor gets on and publicly tells everyone you're full of shit. That's all your vulnerability. That all your vulnerability has just been a ploy for attention or money or shit. Because after going through what you did, you'd never be proud of what got you through. Well, we are what got her through. And it's been a storm. But she's not ashamed of us anymore. And that doctor is full of telling people that she should be. He didn't. He didn't say that anybody should be ashamed of their altars. What is this? Why? Who? What is this? Who are they talking to? Why? What video did they watch? I swear they actually didn't watch the same video as all of us. They're brain dead. I hate it. How does anyone think of celebrating trauma? They do think that this is the case. What the whole, oh my god, your trauma is so tiny that you got over a trigger in 3 hours thing. They do think it takes absolutely nothing for you to recover because they think that the most hurt and hurting person on earth, dead, equals the most hurt. It is the most severe, extreme, and mysterious and elusive of all the mental illnesses within the realms of trauma and dissociation. Pierre Genet, 1921. And we get another one. This one doesn't sign off with a name, so maybe it's Jenna, but I'm going to actually assume it's a third altar that I'm interacting with here because it's more enjoyable that way, right? Normally, I would leave the idea of content, but to edit... Okay, yeah, I forgot that this one's read like an actual child wrote it. And I'm getting tired, and I just know that this will be much funnier. I have a much funnier idea. I think we find AI Jenna, and we have AI Jenna read it.
Normally, I would leave the idea of content but edit to smooth the voice so it's consistent, but I'm going to let it be. That's neither here nor there. It's neither here nor there. It's morning, and I didn't sleep well, so pardon the aside. What I wanted to say is, adding to what Jay said, it's not just that doctors full of... This doctor publicly said we were malingering and our community that we've been building for years. They've seen the process. They know our journey, but there are newer people who haven't. And people are now just stopping by our comments to tell our followers that this respected doctor says we're fake and they should watch out. I can deal with your run-of-the-mill trolls, but every single time this happens is like a gut punch. My body goes into fight or flight all over again, and my heart does stupid things at the best of times. This is not the best of times. I'm proud of how I've healed and the community I've built while doing it.
Right, we're going to have the rest of this read by Thomas. This has made so much sense with how it's been broken up, I know, but like we had the end of it, like she's, what do I do? Like, do I react like this is just clown? This is clown. She's having me respond to her alters She wants me to what? Like address all three of her? No, I'll talk to the person and that's it. Alters are you. You are you are you are you are you. Your associated parts are you. Part of your trauma is you. Is you. You are you.
This has gotten enough attention that my oldest is worried for me, not my mental health but my physical safety. There was another mass shooting just this morning. Unhinged people get mad over stuff.
Your daughter is worried for your physical safety. Not because of your mental illness, because there was a mass shooting. Like, I didn't need to hear that again. This is the bit where, again, like, Bish, stop bringing your children into this. You sound like a really bad mum. The reason I have so much respect for the mums in this community is the openness, the frankness with which they've discussed with me how their issues have affected not just them, but their families, their kids. Oh, my things is starting to spill over into my life. I can't let this affect my daughter. No, it's affecting your daughter. It's affecting your daughter. She's like, this is so disgusting. I hate this. I hate this.
I reassured him I'd be fine, but as much as I'm willing to suffer over this, I have to protect him and his mental health first. If I have to choose between my kids and this thing I've poured my heart into for years, it's my kids. The thing is, I shouldn't have to choose. This doctor should have never put me in this position. So, like Yar said, it's not just people saying stuff online this time.
So I made it very clear to her that what she was doing was breaking the law, but I was still willing to extend a branch of friendship. She, on the other hand, emotionally blackmails, emotionally guilt trips, trauma dumps, and ends on a violently, defiantly resilient note that I accept. You're not frightened. This is all, you're chatting, and if you're telling the truth, you're a really bad parent. I'm actually going to assume, I'm going to be generous and assume in your favor that most of this is an absolute load of. I used to assume you were genuine. Now I assume you are fake, because I'm going to assume that you were doing this as a grift, and you're actually a wonderful and good mother. Because if even a tenth of what you have written here is true, your kids should be taken away from you, or you should get off the internet. All of that aside, this is an admission of guilt. This is self-snitching. I'm going to provide this to YouTube. You have some time left to remove this strike. But actually, by the time I've uploaded this to YouTube, I'll have also submitted all my formal counter-claiming. I did do it the other day. They want me to add more detail, so I'm going to do a more detailed counterclaim. And yeah, it is disgusting. And you're either a liar or you're a bad parent. What an awesome influencer. Somebody who can't handle the internet, whose interactions on the internet causes them to dissociate, ignore their children, ignore their partner. It affects their personal life to the point they can't handle it. But even though they're not making any money from what they do on social media, they care so much more about their social media that they are willing to copyright strike hospitals and small content creators rather than just getting off the internet and being a parent. How pathetic. You're the literal scum of the earth. Lying sack. Why were they trying to like humble themselves to be on my level? To act like then I thought they were just some tiny little 4.8 million. They're just the humble, they're just on the same, they're just like me. They've taken years to build it. They're just like me. 4.8 million, 120,000 followers. 120,000 followers, 4.8 million. That's how they're doing a meet and greet. They could afford an editor. They're not earning enough to pay tax. IRS. Side note, you make enough to pay people. That's impressive. I haven't make enough to have to report on taxes. Didn't make enough to have to report on taxes. With over 4 million likes on TikTok, over 120,000 subscribers, with a monetized YouTube channel. I call BS. I call Mr. IRS. Diagnosed with DID, author for 2023. What's April 2023? The month. They were diagnosed with DID and became an author April 2023. But that's it. Right, I'm just been a fantastic stream. Really fun. Good night tonight. Thank you so much for watching, Loungers. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and maybe even leave a comment, you fucking arsehole.